right, so let's see. I got linked a bajillion things today, so we're just going to go over them individually. Here we go. When are you reacting, bucko? Toch, what time is it where you are? 3 a.m. No, the exact time though. The exact time. I just want to make sure that we're not on like a 15-minute delay. I just want to know the exact time, like if the minutes line up so that we're not on like a 15-minute, you know what I mean? Are we on like a 15-minute delay or 2:56? Yeah, it's 56 here. What do you think we're doing, sir? Like, it's not like I'm. What do you think we're doing? I got like 80 tabs open. I'm watching the videos. I'm going through the stuff. Are you on a delay? Jeez Louise, pepper cheese. Sometimes you gotta be going crazy. All right. Wow. Wait, I actually want this. It's in Korean though. Wait, this is cool. I want this. Let's start with Saint's notes. He says that the 6th anniversary island, is this the first, is evidence of some of the direction that the game is headed towards. The 6th anniversary island is evidence of some of the direction that the game is headed towards. The island has an unironically cool mini game that is a Muse Dash clone. What is Muse Dash, guys? Is that like a game? Is it like a rhythm game? Oh, fuck. Damn. Wow. This one's fantastic. Holy shit. They got it for free. Here it comes. Wow, that's great. The island is an unironically cool minigame. Maybe he means that they want to make more fun stuff beyond just rage, which is funny when you consider what the KR community complained about in the past. Okay, we're going to come back to this because this I want to spend some time talking about. Maybe he means they want to make more fun stuff beyond just rage, which is funny when you consider what the KR community complained about in the past. I don't take this as them implementing more rhythm games in raid. I interpret them as making more fun stuff beyond raiding, maybe not limited time, just rhythm games. Okay. The second topic is about the new music box entries, how they related to Gold River and the music behind it. The third topic is about the Brelshaza latest raid. People are concerned because Brelshaza hard mode was hard and they're worried about future raids will be even harder. The director thinks the game does need more hard content, or does need hard content since it will motivate people to improve at the game. He says they'll be more careful about the level of difficulty moving forward, but difficulty is still needed. Okay, we'll come back to that. Director mentions the DPS meter, talking about how people use it to expose others a lot in Korea when they started using it. He thinks it has advantages, but he thinks the community issues are too great to allow it. He didn't say Westerners to not decrypt the DPS meter. He asked Korean players not to. Okay, we'll come back to that. Fourth topic, bringing up the block system. People want the block system to not allow you to matchmake with blocked people. He doesn't want to implement that. They should not do that because it would affect the matchmaking queue too much. He thinks people would block too many people. They should not do that. Okay, we'll come back to that though. Fifth topic, it's about cards. It's a problem, especially for newer and returning players, and how it relates to gatekeeping. He thinks that the supply of cards need to be increased through permanent in-game measures and not through in-game events. Okay, here's the problem. I cannot imagine Memo saying any of these words. So I need to hear I just cannot imagine Memo saying this. That's why I need to watch I just can't imagine him even saying this. He wants to add cards into the game through content players are already access like dailies and weeklies without having to go out of your way to get them. This is fantastic. I didn't think he was going to talk about any of this shit. I'm not going to lie, guys. I expected this guy to come out and just show titty skins. That's really what I thought, because there's no point of them talking about this until low on, right? But it's good that they are talking about this. He thinks the supply of cards need to be increased through permanent in-game measures, not just through events. I mean, yeah, you should. We've been saying this forever. You should be able to farm cards by just fucking like playing the game. It doesn't make any sense. Sixth topic is about Ark Passive, especially the transition from tier 3 to tier 4 and how it relates to the period of time when you can't turn it on. They are currently planning on adding additional simplification of how to transition from tier 3 to tier 4 Ark Passive. There aren't current details just yet, but it's actively being made. There was a mention that Ark Passive will be extended to be compatible with tier 3, which is probably related to all of this. This means players would be able to start working on and activating Ark Pass long before Tier 4. That's crazy. We'll come back to that because that means a few things. And yeah, he wants to take the direction of the game to be more structured in a game more structured way where experienced players are challenged with difficult content and new players have an easier time accessing the journey to meet with the existing player base. Okay, let's do this. Okay, you fucking cocksucker. By the way, it's an awful system that alien the same area, right? Everyone was in Punica. All right, we're gonna come back to this too because this is some bullshit. All right. He wants to take the game in the direction of a more structured way where experienced players are challenged with difficult content and new players have an easier time accessing a journey to meet with existing player base. Bold words. Holy fuck. Just reading all of this is just, I don't even know how to feel about some of this. They're releasing a physical lore art book that I want. It has lore stuff that you can't find in game. It has more than 400 pages of illustration, concept art, and story. It can be purchased tomorrow. It's $41. Next topic is server transfer. They tried to do server transfers in the past, but they only had it open for a day last time. It looks like they're planning on doing it over a 3-week span, not permanent service. Their service complete overrides the target roster. Okay, I have no idea why you linked me a random League of Legends stream. Not only did you link me, Gustavo, not only did you link me a random League of Legends streams, you linked me a random League of Legends streams that I don't know if it's in Portuguese or Spanish. I don't know what it is. Motherfucker, I don't like, no one even knows what you're gonna be saying though. But you know what I'm saying? No one even knows like what you're gonna be saying. Like, so what do you think's gonna happen about that? Motherfucker, not only that, you linked your League of Legends stream and you're queuing an ARAM. Like, you're not even queuing, like, you're not even doing ranked or some shit. Like, what do you think we're gonna watch for funsies? Like, I'm just saying, you're queuing an ARAM. So, like, what are we looking at here? No, I'm saying it's fine, but it's like, at the same time, it's like, bro, what do we, I don't, is that Portuguese or Spanish? I can't tell. Is it Portuguese? Spanish. Chúpame huevos. Okay, mother sucker, how about that? How do you like that one? I knew you were Mexican. I dated a chick that spoke Spanish for a while. Wow. That is crazy. That is absolutely insane. Okay, before I go into this, I just want to spend a little bit, because I have a lot to say about this. Because a lot of this, some of this was here before you guys started playing. I know that for sure. And some of this, let me listen to the translations of Benji and see if they're the same thing. Let's go to the translations first. Havoc, what's going on?
He did say that when he was explaining about the difficulty of the raids, they want to make easy raids, but they also want to make some challenging raids.
Okay, so that does line up. So far we have 2 confirmations, which means it's probably true that they want to keep hard raids into the game. Okay, personally, I think they should keep hard raids in the game. And this is going to lead me to my big point as we get further down into what this guy's saying. They should absolutely have difficult raids in the game. It just shouldn't be the only option, right? It shouldn't be the only thing to do. It shouldn't be the only thing that you're faced with. But yeah, I think hard raids should exist. I mean, it's fun. It just shouldn't be the only thing, right? If you don't have hard raids, then the game's boring, right? Not everyone's interested in doing it, but there's no, I don't even think you have to mix it. I'm just saying we'll get to it. But yes, I personally think that it's good for the game to have difficult content to strive for. I think it's good. I know people right now that are actually progging G4, okay? Now I'm going to go progging G4, but for them and their interest and their challenge level, what's good and satisfying for them, at this point, this is where it's at an enjoyable level for them to do so. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I think having a balance and having the opportunity to go through some of that stuff is really, really important for any game. You know, having some kind of pinnacle encounter and having different difficulties or whatever, or when you want to go approach it at different times, it's fine. So they absolutely should have difficult content. Let's just keep going. So right now we are actually at a point where so far, I don't know about this first one, because this does line up with the rest of the post, but I want to keep going.
This is very important, by the way. I think this is one of the most important parts. They're going to make LOS 30 more easily obtainable. For new players, there's going to be more support. He didn't give out any details, but I think there's going to be more events to give more cards. Also,
okay, just going back. I just want to now I have to go to memo stream to find out, because in this one, it says, I mean, why can't you guys just translate it in English? You're a multi-billion-dollar company. I'm just saying, why can't they just put subtitles or something, English notes? Like, I don't understand. Like, why can't you guys? What if I lived in Korea and I'm a Korean, but I can't speak Korean? GG's? Like, no, but I'm just saying. Like, oh, you're in Korea. You played on KR. Guess what, buddy? You can't even speak fucking Korean. I don't even know if you can read that shit. So for someone like you, maybe, you know, what if it works out? How about just some fucking? Oh, you can't speak that shit. I remember we were at that fucking pork place. The guy was. We had to wait 10 minutes for you to ask the goddamn question. I remember that shit. We were sitting there shitting the goddamn pork. You had 10 minutes. It was embarrassing. I don't remember if that's exactly true. I'm just making shit up for fun. But no, but this is some bullshit and they should have it, right? Okay, but here's where it says supply of cards through a permanent in-game measure, not just through events. So either Benji missed that or Memo mistranslated. But I feel like he wants to add cards through in-game content. I feel like, I mean, this is doubling. We'll have to go back.
They're going to add more cards in the daily and weekly activities. So
I fucking paused too early.
you don't have to do extra activity like doing the card runs on the lower raids to obtain these cards, which I think is a very good thing, finally.
I mean, I paused. By the way, I paused at an insane timing though. Like that was literally boom on the T pause.
About the Ark passive, I think this is also a very good idea as well. Right now, they're in a very weird situation where people doing tier 4 raids have a mixture of builds.
I was telling
some
this to
people
Benji
have
the other
tier
day.
3 builds. Some people have Ark passive builds. Some people have to turn Ark passive on, off, turn engravings on and off. And
they have to fix this before they release the class. What are you going to do? Design the class twice? Are you going to do a regular version of the class and an Ark passive class? You can't do that. That's what I was telling Benji in a call. I'm like, I'm really interested to see what they do and how they approach this. And then when I was saying, I'm just going to say, I'm not saying I told you to because I don't give a fuck about the glaze me. I'm just saying, I said this before. By wintertime, I expect them, and say when we're going for a little walk in the park, like two old men. You're like two old people going in like some boomer walk. I was saying, dude, at some point by the wintertime, I imagine, what is the point of tier 3? What is the point of having those systems there? What is the point of having those builds there? You should just eventually, when you go through an event, you would have just you would just have Ark passive. I said that, and if you were there, I'm not saying I want the credit for it. I'm just saying you probably remember me talking about this, right? And then I will say this though. What I will say is that all of you guys are saying copium suck my fucking dick, disrespectfully for sure. I don't give a shit if this is unsponsored, but suck my fucking dick, because whenever I say something, it's copium. Whenever I say something, it's sure. So it's like it's the truth though. If it's either sure or copium, right? But it's just logical. Like, what are you going to do? Redesign the class twice? By wintertime, you'd have to figure it out, right? By wintertime, you'd have to figure it out. And I will also say that, holy shit. Now, what do I do for funsies, guys? For funsies, are we just not raising our characters now? I mean, the point of getting to Aegir is to get your Ark passive. Now it's like, wait a minute, do I just get it for fun? How much do I get? What do you do with the accessories? This is going to be really interesting to see. Is the accessories are the accessories changed? What about it's good though, because how many people think it's bullshit that you have to get to Aegir to like turn the thing on? A lot of people do, right? A lot of people don't like that. And for me, it's like, well, fuck, man, I just want all my classes to be Ark passive, right? So, and this kind of ties in more to what I'm trying to get at with this whole thing, because I feel like for me, I want to see if they pussy out of this. And I'll get to what I mean. This shit fires me up. That's why I have this video. I've been saying this shit for a long ass fucking time. And I want to see if they pussy out of this round 2. Okay, let's keep going.
they want to unify all tier 4 builds to be able to use Ark passive.
Yeah.
And they're going to get this ready by winter update.
Not the cards.
No details yet, but from my speculation, I'm guessing all 1640s will be able to start using Ark passives.
But that's not tier
How
3.
would they do that though? The relic? Yeah. More points on relic or evolution points? That could work, yeah. Front load points, yeah.
You can front load points, you can give out points, you can lower the thing of ancient accessories, but if you're saying with tier 3, maybe but then again, like, what do they mean? Like, who the fuck's gonna be 14, 15 with Ark Pass? I don't know, but it doesn't make any sense. Just get rid of the old shit. It's way better. The new shit is way better. Dude, I mean this. Swapping your build, even going into a fucking chaos dungeon as a sharpshooter right now, I can literally just go LC and just go bing, 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 and just switch my thing. It was an insane moment of realization where I was like, wait a minute, I'm Death Strike, I'll go into a chaos dungeon, I'll go LC with the big bird. and you just switch it. It's so easy. You just move to the other build. Even for me swapping to Shura, right? Swapping to Shura. Yes, I got to reroll some gems, but that's it. That's all I have to do. I got to change some gems around and that's it. I can just go, I don't have to go get new accessories, cut a new fucking stone. I don't got to do any of that bullshit. It's just like, boom. It makes it so much better. It's way easier. I don't have to change. It's none of that bullshit at all. I don't have to go spec or crit. Like, oh, fuck. It's just, dude, it was so bad before. I had to have a fucking, dude, I used to have a person, it was Hetsu, it was Oddity before, my accountant go through the market to scan what existed to see if I could make the build. It was trash. It was so bad. And then now it's like, you don't even have to do that to the point because they give you free 5x3. They already give you 5x3 for free. So what is the point of even having it? If they already give you the 5x3 thing, then why even have a system in the first place? Who the fuck is getting 5x3+1 in tier 3 today? Today, who's doing 5x3+1 in tier 3 today? Yeah, it's fun when you don't have to fucking cut the stone, bro, and you don't have to, they don't have the accessories on the market, sure. But when you gotta cut the stone and try to get 7/7 just to play the fucking class, and then you gotta buy some doo-doo thing, and then the accessory doesn't exist, it sucks, bro. It sucks peen. It makes no sense, right? It sucks and it makes no sense, right? And imagine how much more fun tier 4 would be if you could just have Ark passive. Fuck it. And then guess what? You go to Aegir to do what? To do the latest raid. Poggers in the chat.
And it was
Look
mentioned.
at this shit. I don't believe you. This is gonna be the Punjabi shit. I know it. I'm done for. Goodbye. How long? All right, you're free. I'm just saying, bro. Kind of weird, man. You're doubling down after I ban you? Another 2 weeks. See you never, fiend. He's free. Do it again? I'm better again. Go down. All right, this is just getting okay. All right, let's just keep going. All right, so that's Benji's translation. Let's look at. I want to see. I want to see what. Here's the thing, man. I don't trust Memorizer's translation at all. And the only reason why I don't trust this fucker is because the last time he translated for something, he was like, "Oh wait, that's not at all what he said." No, I don't. But you know, it is what it is. Let's find out.
I mean, I know that a lot of Western people have been asking for the raid to be easy. Like, what's the point of like raid being hard, you know, in a game that promotes having 6 characters, right? So my opinion is that as long as they can control the difficulty.
Problem is, this is the big problem that we've had. Okay, the problem is if they gave you Ark passive right earlier, then you wouldn't feel the need to be like, okay, I gotta make it to hard mode Aegir, right? And it's kind of fucked because our specific system and the people that we watch, there are some people, like here's a great example, Crispy Fish Tacos. That guy has a 1700 bard. The rest of his characters are mid. And so for that type of content, like the game itself, it's fine, right? But in our version, no, but they are, but like but that makes sense for the design of difficult raids. You have a character that does a hard raid a week, and then you've got some easy or whatever. But in our version, we kind of were raised to try to have like multiple main characters kind of, right? Which feels bad when the content is difficult. That feels bad. When the content is difficult, ban that mofo. But he's still posting in the. You're not even following my stream, Ooga Bunga. Chupa mi huevos. Chupa. Yeah, I was gonna say, so it doesn't work that way. And then with Aegir specifically, it's like if you really want Ark passive, it incentivizes you to get your character there.
Players like fighting each other and cussing each other, and he didn't mention, of course, like, you know, some of the loyal players who has been like, you know, spending a lot of money. If they turns out that they are a bad player, then like they might quit the game, right? Which is a loss of a profit to the game. And also, he sent a message to the West. It's not like he will profit to the game. And also, he sent a message to the West. It's not like he nominated you guys West like that, but this message is pretty much like 99% to you guys. Please don't decrypt our encryption we did to prevent the DPS meter. You heard it, bro. Yeah. For the people who wanted the meter,
there's no way he said that. There's no way. There's no way. We do have to do a better job, you guys, of being more hush-hush about it here. That's why we really do. We absolutely do. Some people don't even know that it's... We got to do a better job, though. Yeah. Yeah. People legit stream. Yeah, we need to stop doing that. You guys got to stop doing that. You guys got to stop doing that. You guys got to stop streaming with that shit on your screen. It's actually super cringe. And I'm talking to you, Snowy. You guys need to stop like showing it on the screen. Okay, stop. Because if it goes away, it's literally like you're part of the reason to blame. And how many of you guys enjoy having it? So just stop doing it. No, but it's true. So like, don't do. You guys need to not do it because like you like having it, and we just need to not make it literally show. I mean, you could talk about it here and there, but you know, hey, what does scripture say? Whatever, but just don't showcase the thing just sitting there blatantly on your stream. You know what I mean? It's just not, you know, that's why I've stopped pulling up the logs on my specific stream. People are like, what's the number? Just tell it. It's better to just not show it because we don't want to lose it again. And here's the thing too, guys, that guy that makes it low key, if he just decides that he wants to stop doing, you know what I mean? We got to be a little bit better about it. Okay. Yeah. It's a different guys talking about what are the things versus literally streaming with the thing on your screen. Okay, like there is a big difference between me asking and streaming the thing on my fucking screen. And if you don't see the difference there, we're too family friendly.
One person blocking few people. It's like many people blocking many people. This will hinder finding the party and doing the raid.
So many people in care want to be able to not meet people, block players in the lobby or matchmaking. I know your feelings, but it's not like one person block. Yeah, you can't do that. You cannot make it if you block somebody, they don't end up in the matchmaking. You can't do that. That is awful, and you can't do that. There's no way they should ever allow that. Why? It just fucks the whole matchmaking system up because you might have a temper tantrum like fucking Arlong and tell them to do the fucking
water bucket challenge without a water bucket
because you didn't like the way a behemoth ran goes. And then now you're just fucking up the matchmaking queue for literally everybody because you're unhappy. You can't do that. You can't do it, right? Like it's just not. If you don't want to talk to them, sure. You don't see their messages, sure, but you can't do that. I like that he has quotes. So I hope these. I do agree that the card system is one of the biggest obstacles for new or attorneys to enjoy the game. We are already preparing a patch which will allow you to get more supply from dailies and weeklies. So you just have to do the same contents like now. Also, we will make it available from other stuff. Guessing merchant. The more has to be noticeable, of course. Why can't you do that? Exactly what Grizzly said. Imagine Arlong told this guy, imagine Arlong blocks this person. In a party of 7 people, so-and-so blocked this person, so-and-so blocked this person, so-and-so blocked this person. And now when that person tries to sign up into the lobby because of the individual beef that they had with this person, whether it's justified or not, your queues or your matchmaking experience or your party finder experience hinders if so-and-so was a pussy or not. You know what I mean? Like you just make it a limited block or just stop being a little bitch and it's a video game and you didn't like one person because of one experience. You know what I mean? The guys, I'm not trying to be harsh today, but we're going to be harsh. It's just a video game. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, one run didn't go well. Like maybe something bad happened. Maybe the person fucked up. Maybe they were having a bad day. If it's that big of a beef, you'll probably remember who they are and then not play them in the future. It's just a video game. We're not going to hinder everyone's experience because of that, right? Come on now. That is true, Chupa that they added more cards, which I agree was the dumbest decision they've ever made. But at the same time, I can 100% feel the difference in a lot of people just not caring about the new cards. I don't know a lot of people that are actively buying card packs anymore. And I think most people have they don't care now. Like obviously if you get the new card sets, it's great, but I don't think a lot of people are going to care because at a certain point, it's kind of, yeah, maybe for now. And then later on, there's things to worry about, but I don't know many people that are yeah, you might get them, but it's not like LOS at all. The vibe is very different, you know? Even the dark card set, like it never really caught on, right? So I think it was dumb of them in the first place to do it. I do think that, but at least for over here, I don't think the vibe is the same as LOS. Obviously, if it gives you more damage, sure, if you can get it, but I don't think people are going to be particularly, maybe you're going to find some lobbies like that, but yeah.
What's the flower of season 3? Ark Passive, because Ark Passive is what gives fun, and they are making it able to feel the fun on all levels. So we'll see how this is gonna go. Yeah, I hope it goes well. All right, next one is...
That is wild, by the way. That is an absolutely insane change. This is just evidence more than anything that this game, you just win always if you don't rush too much. Yeah. I've never played a game in my life that really just like you just lose if you rush so hard. They will literally, they will always make it just, that's why I have the same advice of just play the event, because every time you just play the event, you just, now granted, if you want to be there, sure, but if you just play the event, you always get away with having to do less work than the other person. TL punishes rush more though. I don't know if it's the same. I've never played a game that punishes you for rushing more than this game. I really don't. Yeah. In a Korean game, you don't play one event, right? In Maple, for example, here's a great example, Logal. You played Maple, right? You play one burning event. Is one burning event going to be enough to get you super juiced? No, but it's the footing into being able to actively play the game. Then you play another one. But in our version, we've gotten literally 4 or 5 events in the past. I don't even know. Is it 6 months? There was 2 in the summertime. There's another one that we just got. There was another event on top of that one that was like an event that gave you elixirs and transcendence and gold. And then we're probably going to have another one either next month or in winter, right? Yeah, you need Legion. So exactly. So it's not one event. But if you just play for the events, you will end up being better off than somebody that actively tries to play outside of events. And that's just the structure of a Korean game, right? That's how most people play the game. I guess we're in November. If you just play the event, you will be putting in less work than someone that's actively playing outside of the event. And so it'll always be easier progression. And it just takes a bit, right? Which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. The only event that Lost Ark has that could be even compared to Maple Story Burning is the Ignite server. I don't think Lost Ark events are that great compared to that. The burning events in Maple you're saying they're not as good? Burning events in Maple are okay, but what about my familiars? What about Legion levels? What about having a mule? They do all of those things. You're saying they're way better, but they're absolutely okay. Great. Then if you're saying they're way better, then you're saying that I would not need more than one. But I do need more than one, right? If I do one, how often do they do burning? Twice a year. Usually twice a year is when we get a burning event. Usually twice a year, right? There's a lot. It's the same thing though, right? The only game that I would say does a decent job of letting you need one character is probably BDO, but the game is designed around that way. You definitely don't need more than one. Yeah, you might be 260, but how strong is your 260 if you didn't play more than one character? If you only played that character, how strong is your 260? He's trash. So my point is that regardless of the event, it just takes time in general. So if you consistently play the events, that would be, in your words, you're trash, because you're not going to be. You're going to have multiple characters at 200. You know how it works. There's no way you'd have multiple characters at 200. And the difference in this game is what? Instead of Legion levels, you just need to have a roster of characters. That's what it is. You need to have a roster. And so if you get a character added to your roster every event, right? It sets you up over time. Nobody like, yo, jump in Lost Ark. It's a game that's super fast and you don't need to do any work. And it's just one. No one said that. I don't think anyone's ever said that. It just takes a little bit of time and you play for the event. Yeah. You're just going to be a 260 rat. You're going to be a 260 rat, 100%. Bro, you can say, here's the other thing too. The items aren't even permanent, by the way. For those of you that are saying that burning events are so good, the items are temp. You rent the gear. You literally rent the motherfucking gear. It's not even perma. Like the items that you get aren't even perma. They're rented. They're temps. Eventually you just log into the game and you're butt ass naked. That is a fact. You log in that shit and the gear they give you is temp. Imagine if the gear that they gave you is temp. It's temp. It's not even perma. You have to have these though. You have to have these. Yes, engraving support is what was. All right, let's go back. Let's finish this video.
Here from the Smilegate shop, a Korean website, by the way, it is approximately $40. This one's a special package, which is like $80. Like, so on and so forth.
I have to get this from Benji.
Some good looking stuff that actually exists in the Lost Ark game. This book basically contains all the lore related stuff, like worldview, class, character, region, contents, behind story as well. 480 pages. So we are not planning on something called Alchemist at all. So stop coping. But he did say,
if this is, I mean, I don't know if this is I don't know if you can really quote this, but hey, at all, stop coping. I don't know if you...
That's it for this video.
Okay, so the only thing that was not in here across all of these was this, which is Saint interpretation. However, Saint also brings this up here. The memo translated this. Okay, here. He wants to take the direction of a game. Does anyone remember this from yesterday? He wants to take the direction of the game structured way where experienced players are challenged by difficult content and new players have an easier time accessing the journey to meet with existing player base. Bold words. Okay, I want to go back and play this. Do I have this? Right? Is not helping them go up in item level. It does help, but the real solution is including activities in the game that allow new players to interact with existing players. Okay, so this was a long ass time ago. And this is not me again saying I was right. It's not. The reason why I'm showing you this is what these fuckers tried to do 2 years ago. Okay? They tried to do this 2 years ago. And the last time they tried to do this, no, it's not, because this is just obvious to anybody that plays this game. Okay, maybe it's not obvious to everyone that plays this game. This sounds bad. This is what you need to do. The problem is, and this all links to one thing, okay? This player base has a syndrome of thinking that all of these problems that the game has when it comes to party finding, matchmaking, gatekeeping, finding supports only exist in Lost Ark, okay? And the reason you guys, those of you that think that is because that is what the game is about. 2 years ago, they did a winter low-on, which arguably was one of the best winter low-ons they ever did. The reason why it was one of the best ones ever is it kind of showed a different vision of the game than what we had today. They tried to implement these fun activities in the game, but every time they tried doing it, people complained. Every time they tried to do things that were maybe a bit more fun or casual, people complained. And the reason why people complained is because they foster a player base that only cares about the raids. The reason why people that play this game think these things is because that's all you encounter in the game. The things that you guys experience in raiding in Lost Ark, for some of you, it's your first MMO, okay? For some of you, it's your first experience raiding in an MMO. For some of you, sometimes I have some people in the chat that are always like question mark stuff because it's not their first time raiding in an MMO. These are innate problems that exist with raiding in general. When you raid, there's a lot of things that come along with it. Okay, 1, scheduling things. 2, finding the right group mates. 3, getting people to play with, creating a static. 4, finding the right roles for your party. 5, getting accepted into a party. 6, clearing difficult content. These are literal things that happen in any MMO. So whenever I'm like, yo, like stop bitching about it, it's part of it. But because that's all they focus on, they then expose the players to those issues in only those issues. If it wasn't the only thing that you did when you were playing the game, it wouldn't be something that you're inundated in facing every single time you log into the game. But because they only design raid content and progression systems, it's what you're going to experience and bitch about. That's just what happens. They need to focus on other things that bring people. The trick to getting people into a game is not, and I saw it yesterday, when you try to rush people to the end game of a game, it's bad. It doesn't do anything. It's over. Like yesterday, literally yesterday, people in my chat were going like, oh my God, I wish there wasn't all these systems and things that you had to explain to the guy. Guys, that's literally what would happen if I dump you in WoW. I'd have to look at your gems. I'd have to look at your build. I'd have to look at your enchants, your stats. That's a normal MMO endgame experience. That's not something that's unique to Lost Ark, that's bad about Lost Ark, that's a problem with the game, that people bitch. You guys be like, oh, it's so fucked up for new players. Guys, that's what happens when you drop somebody in an MMO. That's what happens when you try to rush them to the end game. They're not slowly introduced to things. They're not working their way through the game, right? We need to have these people just play through the game at their own pace, at a natural pace, and that's okay. Instead of just instantly being like, oh my God, these systems are so bad, wait till they see this. Ideally, they go through the game, they have a good experience, they work their way slowly through it, and then they eventually have a good time, right? Like, that's why you play multiple events. It's not something you want to rush. Just let people take their time and enjoy the shit. And ideally, you don't make them feel left out because the only content they have to experience is the fucking raids, right? When a new player logs in the game, you throw them into the raid, wait till they see the gatekeeping. Good fucking luck in any other game that has content that's group related. That's difficult. Why? It's not, it's like, it's normal. But if they had other things for people to kind of just chill and do, they feel included. They don't feel left out. They don't feel fucking like excluded from everybody else. And so yeah, when they release this shit, people bitch about it because the people that are already in the game, they don't give a fuck. They're already getting in the raids. They already have all of the shit. They're already included into the game, so the only that's relevant to them is the raid content. But you have to sacrifice some of that. You have to put that on the back burner a little bit to then allow for other things to be created. Spend development time on making things that, yeah, you know what, that's not that poggers for me, but it's probably good for everyone else, right? And so they said this shit 2 years ago, and then Korea bitched about it. I don't give a fuck about the league game. I don't give a fuck about Mario Party. I don't give a fuck about the song making. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Where's the raids or the new class? Yeah, you're gonna piss those people off because that's all you pander to. And the people that do care about the other things, they don't stay. Because why would they? There is none of that content for them to enjoy or play in the first place. They're gonna go play another game that panders to that. And so that's why we have the people that, no, why am I, because it's just obvious. And so I really hope that this is true. And I really hope, and on top of that, the game switches directions all the time. So it's ironic as fuck to go through like all these things. And then, you know what? Oh, we're going to give you the tier 4 stuff and we're going to give you the Ark passive earlier, which they should have done. Okay, you know what? Now we're going to try to make it so that people can reach the stuff and incorporate it in different ways. They need to focus on those other things. And yes, people are going to bitch about it. As soon as they release all this other shit that's not a raid, people are going to get bored and they're going to complain and they're going to bitch. But that is what has to happen so that when the next time around, there's things and activities in the game that exist outside of just raiding. The game can't just be a raiding game. Even if it's why you play the game and it's the best part of the game, that only panders, it will make your experience better in the long term, because all you guys bitch about is the aspects of raiding, which G's, that's what happens when you only raid in the game. It's not the game's fault the raids are difficult. It's not the game's fault that you don't get into a raid. It's not the game's fault there's a support shortage. Eat a dick, it always is the case. Finding a good tank, a good support, finding in your party, waiting for one, there's always more DPS than playing a support. Why? Because people want to be the one that do the big damn. But if it wasn't the only experience that you had when you log in on the daily, you wouldn't bitch about it as much. It's just part of it. It's a small fraction of it. It's part of your experience. So I really hope, and while I'm fired up, I really hope that this time versus the last time they said this, they double the fuck down and they realize that people aren't gonna like it if they actually do this. I hope. It's a prayer. If he's saying this, I fucking hope they follow through. Maybe he's just saying it for funsies because the anniversary, and maybe that's part of the case. But that's what they have to do. Not just for us, the game in general. Not for the Western players, because it's a small fraction of the game overall. Just in general, for game development, you have to do more fun for funsy stuff, more little funny mini games, more little casual things, more little islands, more world bosses, more things where people can just show up and participate. I said this shit literally back then, and it's not for me to go, I told you I was right, because they might not even do it. I don't even know what the fuck maybe I closed it. I'm not saying it for yes, I was right, because they haven't done it yet. I'm saying this because this is what the game is needed 2 fucking years ago. You can go back and watch yourself. I don't want to bore you with it, right? But this is what they should have done a long time ago. And they started doing it and then people complained. But I hope they just follow through with it, man. It's a question of execution. They need to deliver both. No, they need to focus. You can't do both. You can't do both. Sure, ideally, if raids have to take the back burner to doing this, it's more important to do this. It's more important for them to do this. It's more important for them to add in content. And that's how the game development works. That's why in BDO, oh, they don't give a fuck about the PvP player base. Well, maybe they're working on other shit and that takes development time. And in the meantime, sometimes it's not fun. Sometimes you don't log in as much. It is not in my best interest to say that at all. But that is how it works. Sometimes, dude, in WoW, they want to add housing. You know what they said about adding housing in WoW? They said it would take away a raid tier. That's what they said. That was their own words. If we add housing into the game, it'll probably affect the raid tier. Sometimes you got to do shit like that. Sometimes you got to add in shit and double down on shit that is approachable and accessible for everyone, man. It's just part of the stuff, right? Yeah, they're understaffed. The game needs this, and it needs this so people. But I want you to understand, guys, all of the things that you experience. Yeah, GG's class balance sucks. Wow, like Legalia stream, class balance sucks in every MMO that has different systems. Guys, your class sucks. It's not just Lost Ark. It sucks in every MMO. There's way too many variables. There's way too many gear sets. There's way too many abilities, tripods, all of those things, gems, elixirs, all of those things make it difficult to fucking balance the game. It's not easy to balance the game. You guys go from entropy sucks dick. Hey, entropy's not that bad. Maybe it's the boss fight. Maybe your class, we want them to buff you for temper. Like it's just part of it. This isn't fucking League of Legends. And the only reason why you only care about that is because all you do is the raids. If it's all you experience with, my class sucks. Wah. It's part of it. It's part of it. It's just, but it's the only thing that you experience. I hope they work more on other stuff. I really fucking do. I really, really, really hope they do work on and create other content. That's just more. And so I pray that this isn't a misinterpreted line from Saint. I hope that he actually said this. You know, the island is unironic. He says the 6th anniversary island is evidence of some of the direction the game needs to head towards. I mean, it's ironic that you implement all this other bullshit, but hey, I hope so. I really do. I hope they do it. Because new raids poggers for 2 weeks anyway. It's poggers for 2 weeks anyway. Yeah. I just feel they're not good at other stuff. I like the mini games. The rhythm game that they did was great.
Thank God.
The rhythm game that they made was good. Some of the
SVD
MSQ as far
Tarkus.
the way they implement it with the Shift G shit is just trash, right? You have to sit there and wait. But some of the like music or whether it be the cinematics, the in-game things, they're pretty decent, right? Like the last storyline, pretty cool. There's some things in there that I want to watch, right? It's not like they're innately bad. The mini games are not bad. They're fine. It's just about participating in the same thing, right? Some people like the horizontal stuff. I don't give a fuck about this. You guys, I just hit 201 roster level. I have 12 giant hearts still. I have fucking whatever Mokogo seeds they gave me. I don't give a shit about this stuff, but it's not about that, right? Like it's about what other people experience and enjoy. So yeah, I hope they add more world bosses. I hope they add more things like that. I hope they add more fun mini games, chill stuff, content, whatever. Is it boring sometimes? Yeah, but it allows people just to kind of feel like, and it takes some time to develop it. Yeah, Genshin's super popular for that exact reason. It is. Dude, events are popular for that exact reason. Most gamers are casual, bro. They just log in. That's why you play the event. But we have like this community problem of like just fucking shoving our own interests and like our own play styles down like other people's throats. It's so bad. It's just like constantly like just forcing our like disgusting degenerate behavior on other people's throats about how they should play and what they should be doing and how fast they should be progressing and what they're never going to catch up. So did you make them just enjoy the game? How about just like, yo, have fun with the raid? You know what I mean? Just like, just let them enjoy the process. Yeah, GG's. I'm not 1660 in day one.
Thank God.
They don't need to go that fast. It's bad, bro. You don't want the people to just...
for some pop takes.
And then what? And it's normal to have all of the gems, the engravings. Those things are normal in an MMO. It's part of the complexity in the end game gearing process. It's overwhelming when the person has no idea what's going on. Do more story expresses. Reward them for doing it, sure. Do more story expresses. Do the raid express. Like that was a great idea where the person gets rewarded going through each raid. So they just and that's it. It's okay. More solo raids. Let people just chill and play at their own pace. And they give you options to do that, but people just poo-poo on it all the time. Oh, it doesn't give you enough gold. It's 20% less than doing normal. How are they ever going to catch up? How are they ever going to reach me? They're never going to be able to get here in time because they're making 2,000 less gold a week on their one character. Eat a fat Johansson. Like, you know what I mean? Just stop. It's never gonna happen. Yo, should I start tomorrow? I want to have interest, but they don't waste your time. I'm in the jail cell. Like, it's just... And then the same people bitch about, oh, they're not doing enough marketing. They don't market the game. Market to who? Invite them in to play with you? Invite them in to play with you? You miserable ass fuck. Invite them in to play with you.
Thank God.
You just sit there and you just shit on everyone around you. To play with
Hello,
insights,
Mr. Man.
just to play with
Let's
everyone
make
around
Lost
you.
Ark great again.
So they can just hang out with you and be doomer all day. Invite them in to play with you. It's just fucking crazy, man. And if you don't take a moment to step back and fucking see how your behavior is like infects other people. I see it every time. And I was so happy. There was a guy in Saint Chat where he called him regarded because the guy was like, oh, should I start tomorrow? It's like, you're just negative. You're just a negative person. You're just negative. Go outside. It's not that big of a deal. You didn't get in the raid week 1. It's not that big of a fucking deal. You don't like the system. It's not that big of a deal. Just chill a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. It's just so fucked. Oh, I ulted. I feel better. Zane was mentioning that they had a hard time finding employees to talent KR because the currency is weak. I imagine that they're not resources to deliver both the same quality, but they'd rather double down on what they already know raids. Yeah, of course, but they have to double down on something outside of it because the formula doesn't work. It leads to people being unhappy. The raids are fun, but you're just constantly, okay, why do you think League makes you toxic? Why do you think League makes people toxic? What is the reason why League is a toxic experience? It's all you do. And guess what, guys? How many of you guys hate League, but you fuck around with a little bit of ARAM once in a while? No. How many of you guys don't play League, but you might play a little bit of ARAM once in a while? Who does a little ARAM here and there? Why? It's just fucking chill. It's just chill. I like League, but guess what, guys? ARAM is just a little bit more chill. Not you, Insights? Yeah, but you're a sick fuck. That's my point. You might... So the average person might just dabble in a little bit of ARAM. You might be a tormented fuck. You know what I mean? We're like, fuck it. I'm down to get angry and pissed off and go do this shit. I'm down to get ultra mad. Right? And that's fine. It's totally fine to want to do that. Maybe you like the rank and it's a vibe and you're like, you know what? I'm a competitive person. I get it. But you have to. That's why it exists. That's why ARAM fucking exists. Quick games, faster, a little bit more chill, not that sweaty, whatever. Options need to be there, boys. Options need to be there. You have to have options. You ever been to tell you, did you forget about Bang Bang? Sir, do not compare Bang Bang to my mentality. I get stun locked on the daily. You want to know why I do Bang, why I want to do a Bang Bang? Because I spend 4 hours of my stream talking to you guys, and then I get 2 hours to play the game. So I need to try to get my raids done within a shorter time span than you. You can have me on your side monitor and just sit here like a degenerate and play all day. I don't get to be able to do that. And then if I don't invite so-and-so, oh, you changed, Mr. Stoopzz, you fucking changed. You're not going to invite this guy? Saddies. Right? Like, I don't even finish all of my raids per week. You know what I mean? I don't even get the chance to do them all. And if I don't invite, do not compare the Bang Bang to me. I get this much to play. I've found that doing my fucking, what do you mean our fault, Lupa? You don't even put that, it has nothing to do with you. Ours. You're not part of the team. What are we saying? Like, our fault. You don't even part of the team. I don't get invited. If anything, when you were part of the team, and I did have to play with you, it was the same shit. You're like, bro, it's 4 a.m. Don't be mean to Lupa. That was part of it. It was the exact same thing. You were in the scenario when I was like, well, fuck, bro. I mean, how do you not get this shit, Lupa? And you were like, man, fuck you, Stoopzz. It's 4 a.m. That's why sometimes I realized last night I just played off stream. Why? I can just get them done like, John, invite me. You're part of the chat. This is true. But you're not part of like my rating experience. You fucking Lupa, it doesn't matter if you think I suck at explaining. We were in there for 8 hours. We watched a raid guide together. It was a raid guide. There was a video posted. We literally watched it as a group in Discord. We watched it. I don't know who you need to explain to me. Me, the other 6 people in the group, the video. Is it all of those scenarios? Or fucking go to the corner of Brel? It wasn't 4 hours stream, no energy left. I mean, that's probably what's going to end up happening. I'm fired the fuck up today. This LEC is kicking. Anyway, I am fired up about this. I really hope that they do this. I've been saying it for fucking ever. I really, really hope that they do this. I think it will solve so many problems. It will solve so many problems. And I really hope, and I'm happy to hear that they add Ark passive just earlier. Just start doing this shit. There is infinite ways for you to make money and fucking make exciting stuff. I really do. I really do. Give people the Ark passive earlier. Have them feel included in other ways. It doesn't only have to be the raid. Why? Because it's not, you shouldn't feel like you need, and I hope that Amazon, which I've said them, fix the Makoko event. It's a goated event. Buff the rewards, make it better, make it reset, give them slightly more tokens, add more books to it. It solves so many problems. So when it comes to the raid, you're like, yeah, I'll invite you. I really do. I'm telling you, the one book is good. It's fine. The weekly resets at mats are fine. It's not bad. It's not fucking bad. It's good. Have it refresh. Add more shit to it. Like, there was a one book when you guys fucking literally swap your raids around to make 1,500 more gold from a fucking Theamine to a behemoth. Like, don't be like, oh, one book but then you literally micromanage 1,500 gold. Eat my ass. Like, eat it. Be consistent. You know what I mean? I just... Like, this is why I lose my shit. I have to read this shit all the time. The irony, the bull, it's like I blow up because it's just like one book. Like, I had to restart a raid because the guy checked the wrong box for 1,500. It was 1,500 gold. We were 15 people in a behemoth. We had to restart and reform the groups because the guy wanted to min-max 1,500. Sir, I'll give you 1,500 to continue. I do not want to zone out of the raid, reform the groups. Ugh. I'm about to blow. No, it wasn't Castform. I don't know who it was. Actually, I remember the name. I'm going to say it. I suggested that the 10x clear is how you get the leaf. That was my suggestion. I don't know a better one. I think it's the best one. I think if you don't have a 10x clear of a raid, you have a leaf for the previous raid tiers. I think it works great. It's fine. It keeps it evergreen. It's something that, and we have a good vendor going on. Shout out to Flex the streamer. Well, you're part of the chat, so that makes two of us.
Forbidden from the beginning, I saw her there, up there. Feeling like since I met her, they said
What is this?
I couldn't have her. Way out of my league, I never believed it. Gotta get her hard, I gotta make her mine.
Like what? Like what? Your closest thing to a love story. Why you gotta do me like that? Well, I ulted, guys. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I ulted. Oh.